Welcome to Card Corner. These are the cards. That's the corner. Milo from Trading Cards gave us our first taste of the famous Americans with this Helen Keller card, and I really enjoyed the historic type stuff, so I decided to grab a box myself. It is the Famous Americans by Historic Autographs. We got some odds here. It looks like we can get some short print cards, printing plates, movie clips, signatures, pieces of their clothes, some sketch cards. And it is Famous Americans will become an annual release, and HA will continue to add individuals to the checklist that may seem foreign to some, but that is the purpose of the series, to teach us all new and interesting things about those people who helped shape our nation. Some of the individuals may have been born elsewhere but found their fame or made their fortunes in the United States. America is the great melting pot. The Famous American series is a melting pot of wonderfully interesting people, so enjoy learning. And I believe we shall. I really do think that these guys make pretty good cards. They always got lots of information on the back. Alright, let's pick a good one. Got a nice majestic eagle on the front there. Odds again. All right. All right. Well, our first card is Helen Keller again. If you want to trade for this Helen Keller card, I think I'm going to keep the one that Milo gave me. But if you want this one, the information on how to do that is on the About page of our YouTube channel. I'd trade away this Helen Keller in a heartbeat. Next up, we've got John Philip Sousa. Is he the inventor of the sousaphone? He was a composer and military band conductor born in Washington, D.C. His father, a trombonist in the Marine Band, brought him into the president's own band at age 13 to keep him from joining a circus band. He left the band in 1875, at which point he studied violin and conducting. Sousa returned to the Marine Band as a conductor in 1880. He remained in that position until 1892. Sousa invented the sousaphone, a marching tuba, in 1893 and formed the Sousa Band, which toured from 1892 until 1931. He is best known for the military marches, the Stars and Stripes Forever, and Semper Fidelis. Sousaphone guy. All right, next up is Winslow Homer. He was famous for marine life and landscape paintings. He began his career as an illustrator, but soon after switched to large oil paintings. He also enjoyed working in watercolor, especially during his vacations. Home was quite prolific, but his final painting, Shooting Rapids, remained unfinished. Oh, I think that's a typo. Winslow Homer. Have to check out some of his art. Are you kidding? All right, guys. We got 3 Helen Kellers here. We've got more Helen Kellers than Helen Keller had senses. Anyway, we got Frederick T. Frelinghuysen. He was a lifelong politician from New Jersey who supported both the Lincoln and Grant administrations. His accomplishments include being a U.S. Senator and Secretary of State under Arthur. Although Frelinghuysen may not be a household name, the family has been involved in American politics from the Revolution through the Carter administration. Frederick T. Frelinghuysen, some politician. All right, I'm not sure if this one's red for a reason, but it is Howard Hughes. He was an aviation entrepreneur, film director, producer, and record setting pilot. He was famous in Hollywood and in the late 20s for films like Hell's Angels and Scarface. Hughes was the founder of Hughes Aircraft Co. and Howard Hughes Medical Institute and had a controlling interest in Transworld and Air West Airlines. As a pilot, he held multiple airspeed records and was inducted into the National Aviation Hall of Fame in 1973. Later in his life, he was known for his eccentric behavior and strange reclusive lifestyle. Hughes was worth $2.5 billion when he died. Howard Hughes. All right, next up is Charles Dana Gibson. Portrayed an iconic American standard of beauty with his Gibson Girls at the turn of the 20th century. His work appeared in Life magazine for more than 30 years and was originally based on his wife Irene and her four sisters. In 1918, Gibson became the editor of Life until retirement in 1936. Life was, we learned about Life in photography class. It was a lot of important photography from the 20th century was published there. All right, we got a shinier card. This card's shinier than the rest. It is W.E.B. Du Bois. He was a civil rights activist and historian and the first African American to earn a doctorate from Harvard. Du Bois was a staunch opponent of racism as seen in his works The Souls of Black Folk and Black Reconstruction in America. Du Bois was targeted by the FBI for his socialist beliefs and was tried in 1951 for failing to register as acting for a foreign state. The case was almost immediately dismissed. So I don't know if the shinier ones are like a parallel. It's Alexander Cartwright. In his early years, Cartwright was a volunteer firefighter and a bookseller. He was a founding member of the New York Knickerbockers, and he was sometimes referred to as a father of basketball. The Knickerbocker Baseball Club was named after the Knickerbocker Fire Engine Company. Cartwright was officially declared the inventor of the modern game of baseball by the 83rd U.S. Congress on June 3rd, 1953. Oh, father of baseball. I think I said basketball. And last but not least is Ulysses Grant. Nice. The victorious commanding general of the Union armies during the Civil War, taking command after the ineffectual generals McClellan and Halleck. He accepted the surrender of Robert E. Lee as Appomattox. He leveraged his reputation into 2 terms as president. While his administration was plagued by patronage, he embraced Reconstruction, unlike his unpopular predecessor Andrew Johnson. I think the Ulysses Grant card is the favorite from the first pack. All right, we'll do one more. These ones take a little bit longer to go through than a lot of the cards we open, so I'm only going to do a couple. Savor them all nice. All right, here we got Boss Tweed. It's called Boss for his leadership of the Tammany Hall Democratic political machine. He was the 3rd largest landowner in New York City, a director of Erie Railroad and the 10th National Bank. Tweed became an alderman, a congressman, and the Grand Sachem of Tammany Hall. Tweed hired his friends, bribed his rivals, accepted outrageous kickbacks, and supported self-serving legislation. In 1877, Tweed was convicted of stealing $25 million from New York City. He died in Ludlow Street Jail. Swindler card there. And we're getting swindled here with our repeats multiples in a row. All right, here we have Kid Nichols. Looks like a baseball card. Nice and shiny one. An MLB pitcher for the Boston Beaneaters, St. Louis Cardinals, and Philadelphia Phillies. He was a switch hitter and is a member of the Baseball Hall of Fame. Nichols had a record 730 win seasons and retired with 362 wins, 208 losses, 1,881 strikeouts, and a 2.9 ERA. At the age of 30, Nicholas was the youngest pitcher to win 300 games. The Boston Beaneaters. I like that team name. All right, here we got a Theodore Roosevelt. Old Teddy was a politician and conservationist and writer. Besides serving in the New York Assembly as New York Police Commissioner and Assistant Secretary of the U.S. Navy and Governor of New York, he hunted and ran a cattle ranch. Winning the vice presidency with President McKinley, he became the youngest president after the latter's assassination. During his presidency, Roosevelt supported trust busting, food safety, and labor relations. Unhappy with his former VP and successor, William Taft, Roosevelt ran under the Bull Moose third-party ticket, losing to Wilson, but cementing the status of the Progressive Era. All right, here we got Josephine Baker. She was a jazz-age singer, burlesque dancer, spy, and civil rights activist. In 1927, Baker was the first African-American woman to star in a major motion picture, Siren of the Tropics. Baker was famous for her charm, a pet cheetah, Chiquita, and a costume consisting of only a short skirt made of bananas and a beaded necklace. During World War II, she helped the French resistance, carrying information written in invisible ink on her sheet music and person, and charming information out of important people at embassies and ministries. Baker had 12 adopted children. It's a lot of kids. All right. Next up is Elias Howe Jr., who invented the modern lock-stitch sewing machine. His machine included a needle with an eye at the point, a shuttle beneath the fabric, and an automatic feed. Howe spent 5 years in court defending his patent from Isaac Singer. Howe prevailed and donated much of the royalties he won from Singer to the Civil War 17th Connecticut Volunteer Infantry, of which he was a member. Howe also worked on inventing the zipper and received a patent for his work. One thing I do know is that apparently like 75% of all zippers are made by the same company. If it says, I think, I forget what it is, but all the zippers say the same thing, that are made by this one company. Joel Chandler Harris authored the Uncle Remus and Briar Rabbit stories, popular in the late 19th century. The stories were based on his time as an apprentice on a plantation. Uncle Remus was depicted in film in Disney's Song of the South. Harris was also an associate editor of the Atlanta Constitution. All right, here we got Betsy Ross. I think she created the Stars and Stripes flag. Made flags for the Pennsylvania Navy during the American Revolution and made U.S. flags for over 50 years. Ross believed to be the seamstress who made the first American flag, though the story has not been proven. The Smithsonian Institution notes that the story of Betsy Ross making the first American flag for General Washington entered into American culture just before the Philadelphia Centennial Exposition. All right, we got Andrew Mellon. Born rich, created a banking, oil, steel, and shipping empire. Mellon was the second Secretary of the Treasury under Presidents Harding, Coolidge, and Hoover. A joke of the time was that 3 presidents served under him. Mellon supported cutting tax rates on top earners. He said this would generate more tax revenue. Mellon helped reduce the national debt in the 20s and presided over the Wall Street crash of 1929. In 1932, Congress began impeachment proceedings against Mellon for a conflict of interest. Mellon's philanthropy helped establish the National Gallery of Art and Carnegie Mellon University. All right, one more card, guys. It is Louis B. Mayer. He was born in Russia and quit school at age 12 to support his family by collecting scrap metal. Then Mayer renovated small vaudeville theaters, turning them into the largest movie theater chain in New England. In Los Angeles, Mayer partnered with Irving Thalberg at the new MGM, turning it into the most successful studio in Hollywood. If a story makes me cry, I know it's good, said Mayer. In 1937, Mayer was the first person in America to earn $1 million salary. The first millionaire. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed watching me open these famous Americans cards. I'm going to save the rest of these packs for a later date, but we will open them at some point on the channel. If you want to see that, make sure to subscribe so you are notified. Leave a like on the video if you so choose, and thanks for watching.